We're going to talk about, what do you think about God changing the direction of rockets in midair? I mean, Hamas rockets, terror rockets. What do you think about miracles occurring in this Gaza-Israeli war? I mean, there are all kinds of headlines about it. Headlines in Israel are claiming that miracles are protecting the Jews during the Gaza Strip ground war. One headline proclaimed that Hamas terrorists themselves, supposedly they have it documented, that the terrorists themselves are claiming about God changing the direction of their rockets in midair. They're complaining that the Israelis have God on their side. And there are many more stories coming out of Israel. I'll quickly give you a rundown of 4 of them that I'm aware of, but you can get on Google and just check them out. And you know, I know people have various interpretations, and you can call and, you know, tell me what you think about it. 623-1330, 623-1330, area code 850, or just sit back, grab a cup of coffee, and listen, because I'm going to talk about some of these things. But, you know, do you think God is literally getting involved in this? Do you think he would put his hand in this? And by the way, this is not the first time that miracles have been recorded and reported and insisted, people have insisted upon their occurrences in Israeli conflicts with people that they consider to be their enemies, people that attack them. As a matter of fact, there have been a lot of books written about this. There was a movie. I wished I could remember the name of the movie. I've seen it several times. It's a documentary, but it's powerful. And it's just about the birth of Israel in 1948, and that war that occurred started the next day. It went for 19 months. 5 Arab nations attacked Israel the day after they claimed their independence. 19 months later, Israel was victorious, and all manner of miracles happened in that. The 6-day war, when Jerusalem was captured, recaptured, and I could go right on down. The Yom Kippur War. These things are documented in books and movies and in testimony of very, very credible people, military leaders, politicians, religious folks, people in the street, people that have witnessed them, and people that experienced the miracles firsthand. Well, let me tell you what's coming out of the latest things that are coming out of the war right now. Let me just run down them. You can check these out on the internet. Just Google the things that I'm saying, the keywords, and you can find the articles and read them for yourself. I'm not going to sit here and read to you over the air, for 15 minutes. But I will just run down and give you the nuts and bolts of this, give you the basics, the guts of each one. 4 that I have discovered that people are really talking about a lot. I think there are more. But the first one was, of course, that sometime after all of this, started, and Israel entered the war by, defending themselves and attacking back, Gaza unleashed all manner of missiles all into Israel. And, of course, Israel has deployed the Iron Dome technology, which, by the way, last week I was reporting, the UN actually had the audacity to discuss charging Israel with war crimes because it was unfair that they were employing the Iron Dome technology and not sharing it with their enemies. I kid you not. The UN was going to charge Israel with war crimes. That was discussed, because Israel wasn't sharing their defense technology with their enemy. It wasn't fair. Their enemy should have the same defense. Folks, I'm not lying. Go look on the internet. You'll see it. But anyway, back to this. So this Iron Dome technology is deployed. In the meantime, missiles are fired. Well, there's a missile incoming headed straight to Tel Aviv, the capital, right along the Mediterranean. Huge population center. Hundreds of thousands of people live there. This missile is headed that way. So the warnings go out. The news goes out. All right, the Iron Dome defense missiles are fired. 3 of them are fired at this incoming missile. 3 Iron Dome defense missiles failed. And these things don't fail that often, but they failed. And the missile's coming in, and they're watching it, and everybody's running for shelter, and the sirens are going off, and people are freaking out because this missile is getting ready to hit the capital and the major population center of Israel. And just before, as it comes over Tel Aviv, a strong east wind, this according to all the reports, just kind of comes out of nowhere and literally blows the missile off trajectory and blows it out into the Mediterranean Sea. where it went off without hurting anyone. And all of Israel went, what just happened here? That's heavily documented on the internet. Matter of fact, it is so accurately so and so documented that the Hamas terrorists were throwing a fit about it. Even they claimed that the God of Israel blew that rocket out to sea. There are many other stories coming out. Let me just give you the synopsis. There's another one. You know, they've been blowing up all these tunnels, these terrorist tunnels from Gaza into Israel. And there was one where they had opened it up. They'd opened the tunnel. They had checked it for landmines and traps, and they didn't find any. They were getting ready to enter. The IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces, getting ready to enter the tunnel. And just before they went in, a dove comes out of the sky and lands right in the entrance to the tunnel, and happened to land right on a landmine that the Israelis had missed and detonated it. And of course, the Israelis then knew that they had missed something, and the dove took the heat for them, and none of the soldiers were killed. And of course, that symbolic dove, that was just unbelievable. What do you think about that? Then there's another IDF operation that was supposed to begin in the early morning cover of darkness, but it got delayed by a series of, the old rule: if it can go wrong, it will go wrong, and one of those things happened. But in the meantime, they had to start their operation in the visibility of daylight. But they were going to do it anyway, knowing that this could be very dangerous. But just as they started the operation, a huge, dense fog literally came out of nowhere, enveloped them. They were able to set up their operation under the cover of that fog. When they got ready to execute the operation, the fog lifted. Just at the precise moment, they executed the operation, and no one was hurt. And then there was a wheat field that needed to be harvested, and it had something to do with their sabbatical laws, and so it was lying there not harvested. And at the last moment, they decided, well, we'll go ahead and harvest it. Little did they know, after they harvested it, the wheat field was cover for a Gaza terrorist tunnel. And the day they harvested it was the day the terrorist came through. The terrorists didn't know. They came up out of the ground. Their cover was gone. The Israeli Defense Forces saw them and killed every one of them. Miracle after miracle after miracle after miracle. That's what they're calling it. What do you think?